What up, traders? Welcome to another trade review. Let's go over today's action. I got my new Yankee hat on and a dirty coronavirus beard, but that's besides the point. Check this out. This is how much I made today right over here. $612. Left a lot of money on the table. Later in the day, I took a trade. I'll show you on the charts, but I took a trade and I didn't take profits when it went into profits. So I left some money on the table, and that's what happens in these markets. When you don't take profits, they'll take them right back, just like that. But I didn't lose money on the trade. I just let them trail me out. I took a little bit of profits, but not the most of it. All right. So with that being said, let's get into the review. We had a little bit of a sell-off today, huh? It was nice, wasn't it? So coming into the open, we had a gap up, right? So we looked at yesterday's close. I already marked my charts up for tonight, going into tomorrow. But if we look at yesterday, where price made its high, was around 28.81, all right? So profile people, we look at the range high for the gaps, not the open and close price like most price action candlestick users. So we'll look at the range high, which yesterday was like 28.81. All right. So coming into today's open, we opened up right here at this little blue A. That's where the price opened at. 29.08 is where we opened that. So we gapped up about 20 plus points, okay? So 20 plus point gap up overnight, and I actually had a long from overnight once we were, so if we take a look at the overnight session, looking at yesterday's value, we could see that we took a dip right below it around midnight, right? Right below value around midnight, looked like it was going to start trading lower and lower and lower, but that didn't happen. Came right back up into value, took a long there off 50 something, somewhere in the 50s, and I had my target set. I went to bed. I had my target at 28.74, the value area high. That was hit, and the thing ripped another 30 points. I got to start holding these things out longer, but I was sleeping, so I couldn't manage the trade. I just set my limits, set my orders, went to bed, woke up, and there was some cash in my account. But coming into the open, since we were trending higher, coming into the open, we'd like to look for an inventory correction, all right? So that just means some selling. And I was looking at the open for some kind of meaningful selling to correct this overnight inventory, all these longs from overnight. So I took a short right at the open with a stop right above the high. The overnight high. Looked like it was going to take me out, but I let the stop do the work, and sure enough, the thing switched up, went back down. We started seeing a little bit of selling, and once we opened up, we saw the breath around like 10 to 1, 11 to 1, and then it started easing off 9, 8, 7. So it kept coming off a bit. So that's why I was comfortable holding the short, but I still didn't hold it long enough because we got a lot more selling than I thought we would. And it was kind of slow right in the morning, right? So I took a short right off the open, literally just going for a fast trade, correction of the overnight inventory. And usually once that is done, once the correction of the overnight move is done with, the common scenario we've been seeing is price just slowly drifts higher. But today, we got a little more of a correction than we thought that we would get. And some lower targets we had once, the selling actually never stopped. And we didn't start turning back to the upside, really. We left some single prints in the middle of the day, right here. Also right here in C period, there's some singles down there, right at half back. But a lower target, once there was no buying, there's no responsive buying off of these levels, and price just kept slowly drifting lower. Actually, it picked up some speed today, now that I remember. We actually did start moving a little fast, and everyone was on their toes for a little bit. But a first target we had was 28.81 to fill that gap, and it took its sweet time filling that gap at 28.81. And then once it filled the gap and actually accepted below 28.81, it kind of picked up some steam and really sold off right into yesterday's value area low. All right, and that was around 28.56. So 28.56 is where price kind of stopped. That's where the sellers just shut off pretty much, right at that level. Then we came and retested that later in the day. But for the most part, we just chopped inside of yesterday's value. We kind of peaked above, peaked below, but didn't really make any moves once it got down here. So it spent some time down here. We got kind of a B-shaped profile going on. And yeah, that's what really happened today. We just got a nice liquidation, a nice sell-off, taking out some of these longs from yesterday. And yeah, later in the day, it actually took out the lows, put some new lows in, and then came right back up into value. So looking forward to tonight, we could look at today's close is at 28.67. It looked like we closed a little below that. Globex will open up in about 15 minutes or so. So we'll look to see if this thing starts getting some more selling. It might. It very, very well might. Below value, we'll look for shorts below 28.56. If we get any acceptance below there, we'll look for shorts down to this today's low, 28.51. Then we could look at yesterday's low, 28.43. That's a valid target down there. And if we go ahead and break the value area high, we did leave a little double top action right here. J and K period. J and K, this is where I was taking that short from 28.78. Once I saw that double top, I was just going with the shorts to get some correction lower, since I period and J period didn't really get it. Usually we'll get a correction like I, J, or K period. But we got a little bit I period, not too much. J period kind of just made a new afternoon high. And then K period wasn't able to break that high. So I took a short a little under there. I got in a little late, 78. And then it dropped down. L period took out I period lows. And that's where I took one contract off. I had a short. I had 5 short from right here, 78. So I had 5 short from 78. Comes down, took one off down there, and then I let the rest get trailed out like an asshole. But yeah, there were some good profits left on the table in that trade. But it's all good. It's all good. We're still green on the day. You learn, you live and you learn, right? But like I said in the beginning, if you're not booking profits, they're just going to take them right back in these conditions. They don't care. They're ruthless out there. But if we do break that value area high, that'll be the first target right there. JK high, 28.81, which is literally that, wow, same. I didn't even realize that till today. 28.81. Actually, I did. I probably did. I just took the level off of the chart. That was the previous high, 28.81. But yeah, that was that confirmation of acceptance into that range still. It was rejecting that previous high again. But yeah, above there, we got C period. C period's high as an upper target, and then B period, and then today's high, 29.12. So we'll see. Overnight, they've been kind of just taking it slow and then waiting for everyone to go to sleep, and then they make the move. But it's kind of been the same setup for the last few nights, last few weeks, really. It's just been putting in these B-shaped profiles, looking like it wants to just, crack lows and sell the hell off. And then later in the session, it just jumps back up slowly and then just rips out of nowhere. So yeah, that's kind of, watch out for that tonight again. But yeah, those are some higher targets, some lower targets. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened today in the ES. I also did pick up some, if we're talking about the crude oil market, I picked up some crude oil storage stocks. All right. So do your own due diligence on these. I was up last night looking at some, and I bought into some today. And they sure enough had red days, so I got good prices or decent prices today. There might still be room to the upside on these plays. So basically the whole idea is we're running out of storage. That's why crude went negative, right? So we're running out of storage. People have nowhere to put their crude oil, okay? So storage companies are going to be getting paid a lot of money to let people store their crude oil in their facilities, whatever the hell they got. So I looked into a few, and this is what I came up with. One of them being TNK, TK Tankers. This one's a good one, or so I think it's a good one. And then we got HESM is another one. Like I said, do your own due diligence on these. This is just what I'm doing. HESM, EQM is another one. So, yeah, this is how I'm going to play the crude oil. I think USL and like USO and the crude oil futures contract itself is just way too risky right now. So this is how I'm going to go about it. Find the storage companies, the people that are storing the barrels. All right. So that's what I'm doing. Like I said, do your own research. If you got any other companies you find, let me know. I'll be happy to take a look with you. And yeah, there's going to be some bad shit going on with this crude oil thing in the coming weeks and potentially months. There's also USO, which is doing a reverse split. So a reverse split 8-to-1. So the price of USO is going to jump up a bit and get a whole lot of retail people trapped. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's not going to be pretty. People are going to think they're buying crude oil because the price is going to be kind of similar to what the actual crude oil barrel, the futures, what the price of that is. So USO does a negative split, you're going to see a price jump to like $10-$20 in USO. People are going to think that they're buying oil. That's not the case. So I would stay away from USO. They're doing a reverse split, I think this Thursday being the 30th, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's going to happen with USO and drive a lot of retail money into USO, and it's just not going to be a good scenario. And yeah, I'll put a link to some podcast I was listening to where I'm getting this information from about USO and all the crude oil madness that is about to unfold or continue, because it already got pretty ugly, negative $37. But yeah, you guys could do your own due diligence. I'll provide the links. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What happened with crude today itself? Just sitting around $13 to $11, somewhere sitting in this range right here. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the earnings week. Hope you're enjoying the trade reviews. And I'll see you guys on the live stream tomorrow. Peace.